YouTube, this is Tom from TM Aquariums. Hey, bringing you a quick video today. This is my 120 gallon Severum and blue Acara tank. For those that are familiar with my past videos, I used to keep discus in this tank. Unfortunately, I had a catastrophic equipment failure about a year ago now. I had a corner seal be compromised and that tank started leaking. So I had to drain the tank. I got rid of my remaining discus, sold the tank to somebody who was going to reseal it, and started fresh. Took me a few months. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, so I actually didn't even replace the tank for a few months. And once I finally picked it up, wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with it. The 50% water changes with the discus kind of wore me out. So I wanted to go with something a little easier, cheaper, something that's not as finicky, and decided to pick up this group of Red Severums. And then I also picked up some electric blue Acaras. The go-to faithfuls in my big tanks, the Roseline sharks, some Corydoras agasizzii. I've got a gold nugget Pleco, some clown loaches, and a blue-eyed ancisterus down there on the bottom of that driftwood. Really enjoying these guys. They're starting to get quite large. When I bought them, they were about the size of a quarter, maybe even smaller. But the largest male here, he is about 5 inches now. So they're getting big. There's a total of 6, as I said. I think there's 4 male and 3 female, or 3 male and 3 female, and I just base that off of just the way they've been growing and their attitude and how they behave. But I guess we'll see. My plans are eventually to either have these pair off, and once I get an established pair, I'll be getting rid of the rest. So I don't think this tank is nearly large enough for more than 1 pair of Severums. I could be wrong. I've never kept Severums before, so if you think I could keep more than 1 pair in a 120, let me know. But my plans are really to scale this back to 1 pair. I do have a pair of electric blue Acaras. Right there's the pair. He's about 4 inches, she's about 3 inches, and they have spawned in this tank several times. Sadly though, the eggs never make it overnight, but really I'm not interested in breeding or raising those right now. Eventually I do plan to pick up some additional aquariums, and maybe I will put those in a tank by themselves so they can have some successful spawns. But moving forward, if I don't keep the Severums, I might be, I've been considering Ultim angelfish, and I hate to admit it, but I do miss my discus, and I've also been considering adding my discus again. One change that I've made with this new aquarium is that I have an automatic water change system hooked up. I drilled a drain in my sump so that it holds a constant level, and then I have my RO reservoir mixed with tap water in my storage room, and I have a pump in there that is set up on a timer, so that pumps into the tank. You can see the nozzle to the very right, not that main overflow there. I've got 2 of those overflows, but to the right you can just see that little nozzle in there, and that is set up on a timer. And I can set that timer for as many minutes and as many periods throughout the day as I want. I could probably do at least safely 80 gallons of water changed in this tank each day. My RO system is a dual membrane 4-stage RO system. I can produce up to about 150 gallons of RO water per day. So as long as I have adequate time to heat the water to temperature, I could do probably safely 80 to 90 gallons water change each day. So that would make keeping discus rather easy, because that was one of the issues and one of the things that prevented me from jumping back into it was just those 50% water changes. Have a real nice piece of driftwood in there I picked up from a local person here on the local forums, fish forums. Picked that piece up for $40. It's about 36 inches long, and I absolutely love it. It is super heavy. I don't know if it's Manzanita or if it's Malaysian or what type of wood it is, but it's too hard really for the Plecos. Well, actually the Plecos I have aren't wood eaters, but it's probably too hard for even Pinaculus Plecos, you know, like the Royal. I don't know, I could be wrong, but it's pretty hard. And I really like that piece of driftwood. I've got some plants over here, and plants and severums do not coexist very good. Unfortunately, the plants are coming out on the short end of that stick. The plants I chose to go with are narrow-leaf Java fern. I heard that severums really don't have an acquired taste for Java fern, as apparently it's kind of a bitter plant, but my severums like to tear the crap out of that Java fern. And it's really unfortunate. I have 3 clumps in there. There's 1, 2, and then 3. And each one of those clumps of Java fern, those mats were, you know, anywhere from 2 to 3 times as big as they are currently. In fact, when I put all that Java fern in there, you couldn't really even see the rock pile down here. It was just covered in a top layer of Java fern mat, and you can see they've just been chewing it back. And I tried gluing some onto this driftwood here, and it's just little little bare stems. But so unfortunately, you know, my severums do like Java fern, or at least they like to tear at it. I don't know if they actually eat it, but they sure like to tear at it and destroy it. But I like to have plants in the tank for the color and for the look. So unfortunately, as sad as those narrow-leaf Java ferns look right now, it's still, in my opinion, better than nothing. But I might end up taking those out and putting them in a separate tank just so they can regrow some fresh, new, healthy leaves. And the tank's going to look a little bare for a while, but you know, maybe after, you know, 3 to 4 months of them being off on their own in another tank, maybe I could put them back in and they'll look a little better. Or maybe just rotate them out, maybe take one of them out and put in a separate tank. But anyways, that's the 120 gallon. Again, I'm not sure what direction I'm going to take this for the future, but I guess we'll see. As far as, you know, food and what I'm feeding these guys, I've got a pretty varied diet that I give these fish here. I'll try to back up so the lights aren't blaring in the camera. I've got a couple flake foods. I like to drop some flakes in there just so a little bit of the crumbs and the little pieces get down for the catfish. I've got some omega-1 super color cichlid pellets. Those are 2 millimeter, and those actually have really good ingredients. I mean, the ingredients in this food, I don't know if the camera will zoom in on that, if we can catch that or not, but okay, there's no way you're going to be able to see it, but whole salmon, halibut, whole shrimp, fresh kelp, krill. Those are 4 or 5 of the first 7 or so ingredients on there. I've got some Northfin cichlid, veggie, and krill pro. I really like that food. It's really clean. I've noticed that it produces a lot less waste than other foods that I've fed. I've got some extreme big fella carnivore in there. Good food. I picked that up. I got that free actually at my first meeting that I attended as a new member of a local fish club. And then some little algae, veggie rounds and wafers for the catfish, although these here are small enough to fit in the mouths of the Acara and the severums. So if I drop those sinking wafers in there for the Corys and the loaches, they get swallowed and inhaled by the Acaras and the severums. So as far as equipment, I'm still filtering this with my wet-dry sump. It's about a 40-gallon sump. Eventually, I'll probably make another video and post an update on how I've changed the sump, reconfigured some things. Lighting, I have Phoenix Planted Plus and a current USA satellite programmable 48-inch LED on here. And yeah, so that's about it. So I'll also be posting a video here in the near future on how I set up the auto water change system. It's nothing too complex or elaborate. It's definitely not as high tech as some of the auto water change systems that some of these guys running some big fish rooms with have. You know, it doesn't involve like sprinkler timers and sprinkler solenoids and things like that. So it's pretty straightforward and pretty basic and simple, and I'll show that because I think anybody in the hobby that's running a sump would be able to do a water change system how I've designed it and how I put it together. So we'll post a video on that here in the near future. But that's it for right now. That's the 120. Things have changed a little bit. If you aren't familiar with my channel, I used to have it named Planted Aquarium MN. Go back and watch some of my videos on my 120-gallon discus tank. It was a beautiful tank, had beautiful discus in there, about 12, 13 discus in there from Kenny's Discus. All different colors and sizes, and it was a great looking tank, and I do miss it. But you know, one thing with this hobby, you know, I've been in it for over 30 years, constantly changing, constantly trying new fish, and you know, just to keep it fresh. So even though I do miss the discus, I am enjoying these fish here. But in any case, we're going to cut the video right there. It's getting a little long. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, TM Aquariums, appreciate it if you'd consider it. If you have any comments, post them below. Any feedback or criticism, post it below. And until next time, guys and gals, we'll catch you later.